Good day and welcome to the fresh edition of Sport Rep. I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, unpacking today's show. Today's show has a guest by the name of Matthias Hayter, who shares a bit about his life. You can catch this and more on the show. And now for your latest on the hit list. Namibia's middle distance running prospect David Dam will approach the year with a different strategy compared to last year in a bid to claim national and continental glory. The athlete, who is currently in Omaruru, is said to have commenced preparation for a year in which he is expected to prove his mesmerizing potential. Dam's camp is keen on making progress this year. The plan is to have Dam compete in only one local Grand Prix leg in the third month of the year to pave the way towards the National Senior Athletics Championships. Dam's manager Bethel Karumendu is confident that a different strategy will yield the desired results for the athlete in 2023. This year, the athlete is likely to only start competing in March, just before the National Championships. In 2022, Dam competed in 5 athletic Grand Prix legs between January and March prior to the National Championships. The athlete clinched the national 1,500 meter gold medal at last year's National Championships in a time of 3 minutes 56 seconds and a silver in the 800 meter clocking, that is 1 minute and 53 seconds. This coming weekend will see the Namibia Southern Stream First Division conclude its first leg of matches. Reborn after a torrid time of no football due to a lack of sponsorships and infighting, the division has produced satisfactory action results, its marketing manager Rooney Garweb said. The division is currently under the administration of the Namibia Football Association, where it also gets its funding from. The division, which plays host to football teams from Commerce and surrounding regions, is expected to reach its climax in the second leg as teams battle for promotion to the Premier League. This is expected to also intensify the level and quality of football this season. Garweb encouraged teams to invest in marketing, saying it is important if they are to reach new levels in football. He commended the teams that already use social media to promote themselves and their matches. Walvis Bay-based technician, body transformation and Monarch Lifeguard and Emergency will host a free boot camp fitness and wellness event titled Fination on 28 January at Dunes Mall, Walvis Bay. The first of its kind boot camp will commence from 6:00 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. According to Martin Muyenga, owner of Monarch Lifeguard, the event is being hosted with the aim of introducing fitness to the nation. Boot camps, according to Muyenga, are important as they help encourage people to work on their fitness, which is good for their health. Muyenga also extended a word of encouragement to those interested in joining the boot camp. We will now go for a short break, and after that, it is the Beast Hater. We'll be back. Matthias the Beast Hater has decided to move up the weight after being stripped of his super bantamweight African title. The boxer visited us today in what he had to say in his lengthy interview. The Beast, welcome to the Sport Rep Show.
Yeah,
How are you feeling today?
I'm good, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a brand new year, and it's always good having guys like you in the studio, man. For people that do not know you, well, we know that you are the Beast, a very good boxer and all that. But I'm sure that there are many that do not know the beast personally and all that. So today I just want that aspect as well, and maybe plans for this year. So who is the beast? Who is Matthias Hater?
Matthias Hater, I'm Matthew Hater. I was born in Walvis Bay, raised in Walvis Bay, I schooled in Walvis Bay. I started boxing in Walvis Bay. So I started boxing at the age of 11, and I started amateur there, and I came to complete my professional level there in Wien to get the Mr. Shanshan Boxing Fitness and Academy.
Okay, growing up, were there any boxers you were looking up to as a young aspirant? Who was that?
I was actually looking up to Harry Simon, Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather Jr., and Mike Tyson.
One of the big hard-hitting guys of that generation, though. So you are from Walvis Bay originally.
Yeah.
You grew up there. Do you have any roots up north?
Yeah. I have roots up in north. Like my grandmother, my grandfathers are from the north. Yeah.
From which area?
From Wangwena region or Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you train with the MTC Boxing Sunshine Academy, one of the top promoting stables in this country.
Yes.
How do you find it? Is it fun? Is it great? Is it a great opportunity that you would have wished for?
Yeah, it is a great opportunity because we are working with Shanshan. It's the best promotion in let me say in Africa, and if you look at the MTC Shanshan Academy, it probably produced maybe about four world champions, like the Hitman, Ambuda, Julius, our first world champion of Namibia, Harry Simon also. Was also produced from about Shanshan.
Yes. And sparring partners, how do you find them within the stable? With who do you spar with the most?
I spar the most time with Energy. Philip Mitumbwa. I spar with Philip Shanika. I spar with Sam Matthews. And I spar with Martin Mukungu. Whenever I'm fighting a southpaw, he's my top sparring partner. So yes.
So these guys they actually know what they are doing, especially if you know their kind of opponents you are to fight the next fight. So you guys always check which is the better opponent,
Yes.
Or who fights similar to that other opponent that you are fighting. Well, quite interesting there. So, I mean, you have fought around 8 fights and won all of them. So how does it feel? I mean, how does it feel? What inspiration does it give you?
For me, it gives me an inspiration to go undefeated. You know, it gives me a big inspiration. So, like for now, I'm having an upcoming fight schedule in South Africa. So, I think it's in March, but I'm not really sure of the date. That's it's according to my promoter. So, I'm going to make my debut for featherweight because I move up now. So I think it's gonna be for an international title, but I know I'll be champion again.
Well, this is good news. I mean, the last fight you fought Hassan Milansi and you won that fight, and of course you won a title that time. So right now that title, I understand, was stripped due to the fact that you feel heavier and you want to go up, and you mentioned the featherweight division. What motivated that idea for you to want to go up?
No, actually, I think I'm growing now, and I can't make super bantam anymore, because my body is growing and my body is too big for super bantam. So, my health also comes first. So, if I keep on killing myself to something that I can't do, so I just have to move up to the next weight division.
And you confidently said there you will be champion again in that division. Featherweight is one division that has top talented boxers around the world. So is there any that you are eyeing on facing one day?
I like to face this featherweight champion. I think it's the guy. But first, let me not
Yeah, you
concentrate
can't
about
go.
these guys.
So you want to build.
Let me clean
Your
let
path.
me clean the continental first, continental guys. So I go up to the next level.
All right. Your last fight, before we move on, it was not an easy fight, but you managed. You have not really had easy fights. I think you're one of the boxers that has fought really tough opponents. And tell us about your last one. How did it fare? How did it go? How did you feel about that one?
My last fight, my opponent was, he was like he thought he's gonna beat me, because I overweight, and he thought he's gonna take the title home, because there was only two choices. If I win, I'll still not be champion of the belt, but if he wins, he will be champion of the belt. So he really wanted to win. So he came in as a warrior, and he was trying by all means to win the fight. But for me, I knew I could take him out, so I would take him out in the earlier rounds. But he was a tough opponent, and
He made it very difficult for you.
he made it very difficult.
Yes, but you prevailed.
Yeah.
Fighting, knowing that there's nothing in for you actually, must be something very difficult, because you know that, fine, even if I win, the title is no longer mine. So how did you manage that? I mean, as a person, what goes through your mind that time?
No, I just came in the fight to win the fight, just to protect my record. So I just protect my record. I know if I lose the title and I lose the fight, it's gonna be something else. Then it's gonna be very difficult to come up again.
Yes.
So I just make sure to win my fight.
Okay. You are going into featherweight. Does that change your training strategy, your eating, and all that, or is it just the same?
Yeah, it actually changes my eating strategies and my training. I need to work more, to work on my power punches, because I went a bit up, and let me see
The strength there.
The strength there is a bit also, So these guys are strong there.
So you really need to pack those punches.
Yeah.
Become the Tyson that you so much followed, and the Harry Simons that were beating very hard. So coming back, do we expect a lot of fights from you this year? I know that's quite a question that one has to ask the promoter, because he does the job. But from you, from a boxer's perspective, do you want to fight more regularly in this featherweight division?
I'll be probably this year. I'll be maybe having, if it's less, it's maybe four fights this year.
4 fights, and you really want to a clean sweep.
I want a clean sweep. I
What
want to dominate the featherweight division.
Who are the other featherweights in? I mean, Nakathila.
No.
Nakathila is
Nakathila
up.
is
Lightweight.
junior
Yeah,
lightweight.
junior lightweight. So
In Namibia, it's the Desert Storm.
Desert Storm,
Zakaria
yes.
Lucas.
Zakaria Lucas.
Who's that? Mukungu.
Mukungu, all these guys.
Kakololo.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So it's quite a division that has a lot of boxers here. Is there any that you would like to face locally, or that's not up for any your attention at the moment?
Now, like I see now, um, if I step in the featherweight division, my ranking speaks to itself, and the way I'm ranked, I'm better than these guys. You know? So I need better opportunities.
You need opportunities
Yeah.
that can raise your
Yeah.
your level and attention to the
Yeah.
world.
So because I will gain nothing fighting these guys from
Yeah, yeah.
Namibia.
No, I understand that. Um, how do you? This is probably one of the things that one can always ask before we conclude. Is that how do you handle the pressure of being a boxer and also being a human being in the society? I mean, I'm sure there are people that always come to you and trying you out, you know, things like that. But how do you handle that? What is key in terms of that discipline, or what is important in that?
It's actually a good question, you know, because there's a lot of people. There's people that are happy for you, and there's people that they always want your downfalls. You know, there's in the community there will probably come someone trying to just to make you angry. You know, so you just have to work on the discipline, and you just walk away, or you see.
Yeah, you
But
just
sometimes, like, you are a human being, you can also
you
freak
can
out
you can
sometimes.
freak
You know?
out and yes and become confrontational.
Yeah.
I understand that, and sometimes you know how to throw a punch, but they say in the streets there are no
Yeah.
punches, no rules. Anyways, where do you want to see yourself in the next maybe 5 years or so? Because you'll probably be 30 in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Like now I'm 25. So in the 5 years, you know, boxing, it's not a thing that you do forever. You know, you must also protect your health, because when you are going to the gym and spar every day, it's like you are someone beats your head every day. 1, 2, 3, then you said you must go home, and then tomorrow again. So you must protect your health.
Yeah.
You know, boxing, you must do it at the
Lower age or what?
yeah. It's about age. You know, so I'm just trying to do my best. Maybe in 5 years' time to be a world champion, defend my title maybe 3 times or 2 times.
Make a few bucks.
Yeah.
And decide to go and rest at the Long Beach.
Yeah.
I'm sure you, as a coast person, Windhoek is really hard for you. I know
Yeah.
that, because you guys really love the coast, and I'm sure. But anyways, just for fun, how difficult has it been adapting as a person that grew up in the coast, having to stay in Windhoek and all that?
I just adapt I just adapt the way the city is. I know it's
Weather.
very tough, so you just adapt the situation, you know.
And you get used to the weather and all that.
Yes.
Well, Nata, thank you so much for coming to Sport Rep, and well, we wish you all the best during 2023. We hope that you are going to bring something back home like you did in terms of titles, African titles, and we hope that you also get a world title. We know the potential that you have, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
That is the beast hater. He says if you find him on the street and provoke him, you would regret that moment, but of course he's just joking. He does it in the ring. Ario Hart is up next with the latest international news, but first let us go for a break.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with tennis news. Week 2 of the Australian Open continues in Melbourne. Exciting games in the quarterfinals on the men's and women's side of the draw. On the men's side of the draw, it is Karen Khachanov. He's through to the semi-finals. He beat Sebastian Korda of the USA. The score was 7-6, 6-3 and then 3-love in the third when Sebastian Korda had to retire because of a wrist injury. It was a disappointment for Sebastian Korda. He did well leading up to the quarterfinals. It was his first quarterfinal also. Leading up to that, he beat number 7 seed Daniel Medvedev and also number 10 seed Hubert Hurkacz. So it was a great tournament for Sebastian Korda. Comes from a big sporting family. His father won the Australian Open as a tennis player, Peter Korda, and then his sisters Nelly and Jessica Korda, both professional golfers on the PGA Tour. Also coming up would be Novak Djokovic, number 4 seed. He's still in the tournament. Impressive win for him in the round of 16 when he played against Daniel de Minna of Australia. So he will play against Andrei Rublev in the quarterfinals. In the women's side of the draw, in the quarterfinals, it was Elena Rybakina that continued a good form. She's from Kazakhstan. She's a Wimbledon champion of 2022. In great form also in this tournament. She beat number 17 seed Jelena Ostapenko of Latvia by 6-2 and 6-4. Elena Rybakina is number 22, number 22nd seed in the Australian Open in this tournament. She also earlier beat number 1 seed Iga Swiatek. Coming up also is Aryna Sabalenka, the number 5th seed. She will play against Donna Vekic, and then it is Magda Linette. She's unseeded from Poland. She will play in the quarterfinals against Karolina Pliskova. On to some soccer news, and it's not good news for Everton at the moment. And the latest news from Everton is that their coach, that is Frank Lampard, has been sacked. So that is 8 Premier League games without a win. The last 8 games, that was for Everton. They're second last on the points in the English Premier League at the moment. They've got 15 points after 20 games, and they have 9 losses in the last 12 games. So it will be the 6th manager in 5 years, the new coach that will be appointed after Frank Lampard. Not sure who it will be. There's lots of speculation who it might be. One of the names mentioned is former Leeds boss, and that is Marcelo Bielsa. He is an Argentinian, 67 years old, and it's not confirmed if he will apply for the job, but he's mentioned in the circles that he might take over from Frank Lampard. Also mentioned is a former England international and Man United star, that is Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney, currently the coach of DC United in the United States of America. His name's been mentioned. And then also the former Southampton coach, it is Ralph Hasenhüttl. He's also mentioned as a possible replacement for Frank Lampard. The next game for Everton is going to be on the 4th of February. That is against Arsenal. That will be a tough game for them, as Arsenal currently the lot leaders on the English Premier League. And continuing international sports news with golf news, the new world rankings been announced after the weekend's golf tournaments, and it is still Rory McIlroy, the world number 1. Moving up to number 3 is John Rahm. He won the American Express golf tournament this past weekend in the USA. He's up to number 3 in the world, swapping places with Cameron Smith. Besides Scotty Scheffler, number 2, there's also Patrick Cantley, Xander Schauffele, and also Will Zalatoris, and then Colin Morikawa and Justin Thomas, all in the top 10 in the world at the moment. Also a big move up for Victor Perez from France. He won the Abu Dhabi Championships over the weekend. He was 111th in the world before the weekend, and now after the win he's number 63 in the world. Southern African interest, not good. No South African golfer in the top 50. For Southern African golfer in the top 50, it is Louis Oosthuizen, number 57, and then Dean Burmeister, number 58. And closing off today's international sports news with hockey news, and it is the World Cup for men continuing in India, and it is Korea that's through to the quarterfinals. They beat Argentina by 3-2 on penalties. It was 5-all after normal time, and they will go through to play the Netherlands in the quarterfinal. Also through to the quarterfinals, Germany, that had a convincing win against France. The score there was 5-1, and they will play against England in the quarterfinals. The other two quarterfinals will be Australia playing against Spain, and also Belgium up against New Zealand. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sports day. Goodbye.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's show. Sport Rep will be back tomorrow at the same time and same place for the latest sports news. From me, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, it is goodbye.